guys, this is Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and today I thought I'd come out here in my yard. Yes, there's a ginormous pile of branches and everything behind me because I just trimmed my tree yesterday and my forearms and my legs hurt so much from being on the ladder for hours and hours trimming those branches and getting up in there and making sure that I didn't disrupt the birds' nests that are up there. There's different dove nests up there, and there was a hummingbird nest, but it was an old nest, it was already falling apart. So I was okay, so it was kind of okay to trim that branch because it was a nest that would no longer be useful to future renters renting hummingbirds of that nest. Okay, so I am stalling because this video, I've been called to make this video because there's been so much of this one topic hitting me over and over and over again for the past few weeks, and I figured it's a topic that I have to make a video and actually talk to you guys, not just one for me to work through personally, but one to share with you guys. And I've been stalling on making it just because it's a hard topic, and the topic is self-forgiveness. So recently there's been, and I won't say what friend or what's too many details, but there's a friend of mine whose daughters, especially her oldest daughter, that's going through a really traumatic time right now. She's going through some counseling, does deal with molestation and father abandonment issues, and some things like that, and she's still really young, so there's, my friend and I were talking about, self-forgiveness, that, her daughter wants to punish herself because of what happened to her, and because of how she's feeling inside. She's wanting to punish herself because she doesn't know her worth. She's a strong, beautiful young lady. Both her daughters are, and my friend as well. But I think that it is one of the hardest things for us to do is to forgive ourselves for, awful things that have happened to us. I was also talking to, various friends that I've met through social media, friends that, I've made here in person, and it's just been a topic that came up over and over again. It's a topic that's been coming up with my family members, because there is actually a history of molestation in my family. There's a history of emotional abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, and I know that that's also a topic for, that's not uncommon, unfortunately. And so, even for myself, I think I've talked about this before. So I think too, because I'm probably not making any sense right now. So to kind of give you guys an idea of what I'm trying to say when it comes to self-forgiveness, because a lot of us find it hard for us to forgive ourselves for things that we've done, but it's usually stemming back to some awful things that have happened to us that result in us then saying things or doing things that we regret in our lives. And so I am one of those people. And so let's give a little background. You guys know that I didn't have the most pleasant of childhoods. My household, there was physical abuse, there was mental abuse, and there was emotional abuse. Physical abuse came from my father. The mental and the emotional abuse came from my mother. Growing up, I was told over and over again, by my mother that you are a bad person, you are an ugly person. Ever since I was little, that's not something you tell a child. And when I was a child, you look to your parents as being, well, they're your parents. You got to listen to your parents. They know something, right? Something that you don't know. And so deep down inside, I was as you're forming the building blocks of becoming an adult in the future, you're living with these things that you consider your truths, even though consciously you're like, well, that's not true. Somewhere deep down in your subconscious, it does lie in there. So there was, of course, my mother who would, tell me these things and tell me things like, you shouldn't be here. You should probably kill yourself. You should, once people really get to know you, they will run away because you're such an ugly person. You're an evil person. She would tell me I'm evil. And so subconsciously, I would distance myself from friends and boyfriends. Because even though, I wanted to believe that, my mom's not the kindest of people, and that everything she said was a lie, and just projecting her own self-worth onto me, not necessarily saying it to me, she was projecting herself onto me. I didn't know that as a kid, though. By the way, what kid does? So I subconsciously had just kind of distanced myself, not knowing why I would do things to push people away. It seemed like a mystery to me. Although now in hindsight, it's like, well, duh. It's because you believed what your mother had told you about being an ugly person, and if people really knew who you are, they would run screaming because you're evil. So believing that, I would decide to sabotage things. I would say really mean, hurtful things to some of my kindest of friends. I would say mean, hurtful things, hoping that the boyfriend I was with would break up with me, just so I could say, see, that truth that's inside of me is correct. See, they don't want to be with me. Well, not realizing, well, you're the one that is pushing them away. It's not because you're a mean, hateful person on the inside. Eventually, I had gotten therapy and counseling and, and all of that. And it's not something you're like completely cured of. It's something that I still work through. Every time I find myself, falling into old patterns where I like stop calling my friends, I start distancing myself, I'm much better at catching myself. Now I consciously know what is going on. I catch myself, I correct the behavior, I go, okay, where is this stemming from? Was I triggered by something? And I decided I'm just gonna start pushing people away, and things like that. But so how does this all tie into self-forgiveness? Well, my friend and I, actually several friends and I, were kind of talking about this, and, I feel horrible about, things I said when I was younger. So this is like teenage years, when I was in my 20s, and I do believe I said those things, number one, to push those people away because, somewhere inside it was like, hey, if they really get to know me, I'm an evil person, so I need to maintain that truth by performing this task which makes them move away. And I, now I'm like, I can't, like, how do you forgive yourself for that, for being mean to people? Like, I wish I could go back to those people and hug them and tell them I'm sorry and tell them that it was because I felt so hurt on the inside. I wanted other people to feel as hurt as I did, which is a really selfish thing. But, growing up in that environment, and so there are a lot of people I know who feel responsible for, well, I hurt this person, I did this, or some people take it out, sexually, some people that I know have gone, and done some things that they later regretted, like they, had, sex not in a loving way, more in a way where they were trying to punish themselves or hurt themselves through that. And again, it's all just stemming from, some sort of trauma that occurred in the past, and now it's playing out this way in adulthood. And so there are people who are like, I've done all these horrid things. How do I forgive myself? How do I go back and tell those people? And the short answer is, if, for the most part, you can't go back and in time and fix what happened, fix what you said, fix what you did. However, knowing that it was wrong and feeling bad about it shows a compassionate heart. A heart that does not feel bad for mistreating others, making others feel horrid, belittling others. If you do not see anything wrong in that, well, that's a problem. But ultimately, knowing that you have developed compassion, maybe you've had compassion all along, it's saying, you are a good person. Knowing that you've done wrong and feeling bad about it shows that you have a kind heart. And so being able to forgive yourself is moving forward, doing good for others. Because obviously, if somebody feels bad about doing those kinds of things, they want to do good for people. They want to help people. They want to say kind things to people. They want to help people. And so like myself, I try doing a lot of that. I help people because I genuinely like helping people. I genuinely like making people happy. I like doing healings. I like doing stuff like this where I share this because I think that it might be beneficial for someone out there. But then it's like, well, then how do I get over this feeling like I can't forgive myself for what I did? Well, if you have that compassionate heart, and this is actually coming from my acupuncturist. Actually, she's more like a mom to me, my Chinese mom. She says a compassionate heart learns to forgive the self. So if you have love for others and you do not wish to hurt others, then you must know that you are just as important as everybody else, and you must be able to have love and compassion for yourself. So it takes years and years and years and years to try and build that feeling of self-worth, because I think a lot of it stems from just not feeling worthy of forgiveness. I'm not suitable for forgiveness. However, if you feel that other people are suitable of love, and everybody deserves love, if my parents had an adequate amount of love, they might have behaved differently as parents. So everybody is worthy of love. And so discounting yourself, saying other people are worthy but not myself, then it doesn't make sense, so this video obviously is not like to help people like in the next 5 minutes and be like, all right, I watched this video, all right, I am feeling self-worthy and I feel like I can forgive myself. So this is just some food for thought for you guys while you continue on your healing journey. Is just remember that if you have compassion for others, you love others, then you must also learn to love yourself. Okay, you have to know that you are worthy of love. Every person on this planet, even my parents, even people who have done me wrong, are worthy of love. I had seen something on Instagram that says, before you can love others, you must first love yourself. And then it was like, that's erroneous because people learn how to love through the relationships that they are in, and it says that loving relationships relationships teach you how to be kind to yourself. But I also find that difficult because I sometimes feel like, and I'm talking from experience, when I don't feel worthy of love, I tend to pick people who fill that, that won't give me the love that I deserve. However, I will say that I am pretty lucky to have the dude, because I consider myself pretty difficult to have been a girlfriend with. Our first few years of dating, we've been dating almost like 13 years now, but we were friends for like 6 years before we started dating. And he wouldn't allow me, like he saw you know, what I was doing. He was like, and since we were friends, had been friends for so long, he knew my family, and like he played Mr. Psychologist, and he knew exactly what I was doing, and he would not let me sabotage the relationship. He wouldn't let me sabotage relationships with my friends. And so I fought against him so hard because I was like, no, this is like totally going against what my truth is, you know. And so I'm so very grateful for that. But I know not everybody has that kind of person in their life. So I'm hoping that by doing this video, you just realize that if you feel genuinely sorry for the people that you've hurt in the past, because you were hurt in the past, then know that you're not a bad person. You're worthy of love. And moving forward, you just try to love others to the fullest and best of your capabilities. And in the process, try to treat yourself as those other people, that you are a person who is worthy. You are full of self-worth. You have a lot to give the world. And we all love you. So, you know, I love you. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to, you know, I hope this video helps somebody, you know, just at least acknowledge that maybe things that are going on in their life are all stemming from something else, and just to maybe be more cognizant of it, and just more cognizant of the choices and the things, especially if there's repeating patterns in your life that you don't like. Is it stemming from repeating ways that you do something in order to fulfill a truth, which is, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of love, and I don't deserve. So, you know, if this helps, great. If it doesn't, then I just rambled on, and but I'm hoping it helps somebody. And so, you know, I try to be as vulnerable and as real a person for you guys as possible, because I don't think it does anybody good for us to listen to people who are projecting something that is not real, to have a facade, to be fake. You know, I don't believe in that, and I don't think it helps anyone. And my mission in life is to help others, because I've come from a place of so much hurt and so much pain. I don't wish other people to go through that. And if people have gone through that, I want them to know that I'm on the journey with them, and I hope that I can help you on that journey. You know, me not being, you know, perfect, I just want to give you like stuff that I've kind of learned on my journey, so that you guys can be on your journey, and kind of that should help you at least hopefully a little bit. So anyway, I will leave it at that. And yeah, I didn't quite know what I was gonna say for this. I just kind of went with it. So thank you guys for listening. And yeah, if you like me sharing these kinds of videos, although they be very open, you know, just let me know. Give it a thumbs up, or give me a comment. Just say, hey, I want more videos like this, or whoa, this is a little extreme, you know, I would like some other videos like this. Not gonna hurt my feelings at all. I want to do what helps you guys the most. All right, so I will catch you spiritual homies later. Okay, peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Love you guys.